Hey, what's up, everybody? Carolina Jackpot coming at you on Sunday, August the 4th, 2019. Video I'm going to bring to you today is a collaboration of clips of me this summer outside a number of old Winn-Dixie store locations here in the upstate of South Carolina, and I think one in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Just from my travels throughout the summer, some of these were taken as much as 2.5 months ago. Just now being able to have enough to compile a true video. But I wanted to do this because, number one, still have a passion for retail, and especially the place where I got my first job. Winn-Dixie, if you're from the South, you definitely know what Winn-Dixie is. And if you're a young person living in the far South, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, you know what it is now in its current form, or if you visited Florida. When I worked for Winn-Dixie, it was in a different form than what it is today. Today, Winn-Dixie, Buy Low, Harvey's, and maybe a couple of other chains are merged all together into one entity known as Southeastern Grocers, which is odd because when I was coming up through the ranks at Winn-Dixie, I worked there from 1990 until 2005. So almost 15 years. I started when I was 16 in high school. Buy Low was our number one competition, and then it became Walmart in the later years. So it's kind of odd that now they're all part of the same company, but such is the world we live in. The Winn-Dixie that I worked for actually pulled out of North Carolina and South Carolina, where I live and worked at for the most part. I also worked in North Carolina for a while. In 2005, after filing for bankruptcy earlier in the year, very early in that year, and they made the decision to close or sell all the stores in North Carolina, South Carolina, and parts of Georgia, which at the time they had already exited a lot of Georgia. They had exited Tennessee and Kentucky, where they also had stores at one point in time. All the stores were either closed or sold. Most of them were closed. There were very few of them that got bought out. Some of them got bought out by Buy Low, which at the separate time was owned by a different company. I believe it was part of Ahold USA, which is a company from overseas that had holdings in the United States. So they bought some of the stores. I think that some of them were purchased by an independent store. I think Ingles Markets, based here out of Asheville, North Carolina, bought one of the stores. But that's about it. And I didn't stay with the company. I had to move on because I could not relocate to Florida or somewhere in that region at that particular point in my life. But I just wanted to go back and look at some of these stores and what they look like today. I think it's important to preserve history as it is today because it's going to change over the course of time. I really wish I had the idea to do this about 8 or 10 years ago when these stores may not have been occupied by something, as most of them are now. They still had a little bit of a Winn-Dixie feel to them. Maybe we could have seen some label scars, that type of stuff. Really can't see much of that anymore, but I can show you what they look like now, what's there now, when they closed, and what I know about them. Started with the company in 1990 in high school. It was just supposed to be a job where I was going to bag some groceries, maybe stock a little bit, and earn some money to pay for my gas and car insurance and my food and snacks, stuff, just random stuff a high school kid needs extra money for, going out on the weekend. And it turned into a career. I ended up staying there for a long time. I became a assistant manager, and then a store co-manager. Well, my brow off. Sorry, guys, it's hot out here. And then ultimately a store manager. I learned a lot from a lot of different people there. There were a lot of talented guys and gals who worked for Winn-Dixie. That's where I developed a hard work ethic, gained a lot of knowledge, gained a true sense of urgency, attention to detail, a sense of that, and just a lot of good characteristics that I could carry forward. And I can honestly say I never really had truly a bad experience working there. Sure, there were bad days. There were bad days here and there. but for the most part, it was totally enjoyable. And, you know, I can pretty much say that I enjoyed everybody I worked with. I really do. I can say I enjoyed everybody I worked with. I learned a little something from just about everybody I came in contact with, some more than others, but I mean, just invaluable teachers. And all the young people that are out there today, you need to listen to what, you know, the people, your bosses, just listen to them. Don't just listen to what they're telling you to do at the moment. Just grasp from it why they're telling you to do this. What's important about this? What's important about serving a customer? Why do they want me to do this way? Yeah, I can honestly say that after I left there, I can't say that all my experiences down the road have been positive. You know, I've run into some hiccups. You know, working for one particular company that really didn't appreciate me, I feel like, for what I brought to the table, and ultimately I don't work there any longer. But it is what it is. You learn through life. But just take a look at these clips. Take a trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed this video, I might put up some more of these type videos. You know, I do like going around to old places, abandoned stores, just, you know, seeing what we can find out, you know, the history of the place, and just preserving something that is now, because they're not going to be that way forever. These are 2, maybe 3-minute clips at each store. Don't spend a whole lot of time on each one, so it's not a long rambling video, but it took me a while to put it together, and put a lot of heart into it. It means a lot to me, so hope you guys enjoy it. If you like it, hit it with a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section below, and if you're not a sub, subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel. We do this. Sometimes we'll do some random visits to different retail places. We do a lot of scratch ticket videos here. Do a lot of college football videos here. No telling what you might see during college football season. Sometimes I come unhinged. Yeah, sometimes my team disappoints. Sometimes they don't, though. I'll see y'all later. Watch the video. You'll like it. Peace. I'm out. This is the former Winn-Dixie store number 1264 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, on John B. White Boulevard. It used to be known as Reedville Road. Most of the local folks still call it Reedville Road. Now, this actually was one of the highest volume Winn-Dixie stores in the upstate of South Carolina. I worked here for about 3 years of my time, and this used to be a really good store, man. Really good store. Real busy. Just big first of the month store, but it was busy all month long. Some of that stuff down there. There used to be a really good Chinese restaurant there, and it seems like a tobacco shop or something. Now there's a pawn shop there at the end now. Those other 2 things there, they're closed up. The thing with number 1 there, that's closed up also. It used to be like an Always Money or something like that at the end of the shopping center. But yeah, this was a marketplace store. Had the old trapezoid design on the front of it. I think it was built around 1993 and replaced a store that was across the way, about 1.5 miles. This one closed in 2005 when Winn-Dixie pulled out of North and South Carolina, and over the years really took a hit in volume. They opened up a new Walmart around here. Ingles Markets built a big store close by, the Bilo, down across the other side of the interstate, also expanded. So yeah, good store. Just competition took a toll on it, and it's the same story as many of them. It just took the competition a little bit longer to get this one. You see right there behind that white SUV, there's a Winn-Dixie thing on that cart corral right there. But yeah, this parking lot's in bad repair, and stuff just overgrown and stuff now, but it used to be a really nice place. And Winn-Dixie 1264, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Now this was Winn-Dixie number 1036 in Lawrence, South Carolina. And not a lot's changed here, except they just took Winn-Dixie off the front of the building. Been gone for 14 years. You see this parking lot is It's in bad shape. Still got the old sign out there, or the pylon for the sign. I rode around back. All the coolers and stuff have been demolished, but everything else is pretty much intact. It's just real grown up out there. Yeah, you can look inside. You can't really see good at all, but that place is stripped out. There's nothing in there at all. Just a bunch of dust. But that was a drugstore over there at one time. Almost all of these Winn-Dixie stores had a drugstore beside them if they weren't a regular, like a marketplace store, which this one wasn't. And most of those are all shut down too in these stores like this. This is kind of a smaller city in South Carolina. About 10,000 people live here, and you know, while our economy in South Carolina is doing really well, this town's kind of, I mean, it's kind of lagging behind. It's better than what it was, I think, but there's already a Walmart Supercenter here. There's a big Ingles Market store, Aldi, Bilo. I mean, pretty much all the retail you need. Across the road over there, if you can see it, there's a Rose's Express store, which is another cheap retailer's, Dollar General, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I wouldn't really see anything moving in here. Probably just gonna fall apart, sadly. And this was at one time a good store, probably about 25 years ago. First of the month type store, but yeah, the Walmarts and all that took over. And when Winn-Dixie pulled out in 2005, this one wasn't doing hardly anything. So it's pretty sad. All right, that was Winn-Dixie 1036, Lawrence, South Carolina. This was Winn-Dixie store number 1018 in Williamston, South Carolina. Still see the Western Union sign up on the light pole there. This one closed down in 2005 as well. And I'm not quite sure when this store was built. I just have to say in the early 1990s. This is actually a pretty good store. It's different the way it's constructed here. And I can't get around to film a lot because I'm just sitting in the car. It looks like they're working on something there. They must be doing some remodeling in there to open that back up as something. I know it's been for lease for a long time. But yeah, this is a pretty good store as far as I remember. Only grocery store in town. I got a couple of discount grocery stores around here, but no conventional grocery store. You got to go about 5 or 6 miles the other way to find a Bilo store. So yeah, a decent store. I don't know why nothing ever really moved in there, but it's been empty ever since 2005. And it was one of the marketplace stores. I'd say it was built around 1990-ish or so. Yep. Winn-Dixie 1018, Williamston, South Carolina. It's still July the 7th. We're in Anderson, South Carolina still. This is Windsor Place Shopping Center, and this was Winn-Dixie store 1203, which closed down in 2005. Can't remember exactly what all was in this shopping center, but it's an assortment of different things now. You have a nail salon, a physical therapy place, Bike Street, Badcock Home Furnishings, and the old Winn-Dixie was now a cross-country home services. Not quite sure what that was. This shopping center, it all looks the same as you see. Actually had to go around back behind here to make sure this was the Winn-Dixie, but the loading dock and all that stuff's back there still, so this was where it was at as I remember. Never worked here, but I've been in here a couple of times. Store 1203. This is one of your lower volume stores. Closed down in 2005. Now this entire thing here was Winn-Dixie store number 1244 in Pickens, South Carolina. As you see now, it's all subdivided. Dollar Tree, some kind of resale store, it's a thrift shop, and Save-A-Lot grocery store. They did a really good job with this one, getting it subdivided out. A lot of use out of that one building. I think this one was built around 1995 maybe or so, and closed up in 2005. This store actually was one of the higher volume ones in the upstate of South Carolina. The little shopping carts sign there, that's still original Winn-Dixie stuff. So, yep, store 1244, Pickens, South Carolina. Here's another old Winn-Dixie store. It's been repurposed pretty well. This was store 1034, Brevard, North Carolina. And you see we got another grocery store in here now. It's Save More Foods. This is a concept that's actually part of the Ingles Markets chain. If you're familiar with Ingles Markets, it's kind of a scaled down version of an Ingles store. There's not no bakery or deli in these. They'll sell the salvage goods and that about once a month in these stores that come from the regular Ingles stores at real cheap prices. But I think this was a pretty good Winn-Dixie store, and actually when they closed down in 2005, I think this one was bought by Ingles right away and converted to a Save More. So making good use of this old Winn-Dixie, store number 1034 in Brevard, North Carolina. It's a pretty drive up here and a pretty drive going back down the mountain. This was the former Winn-Dixie store number 1273 at the, this is the Maxwell Point Shopping Center in Greenville, South Carolina. Now this store actually closed down in 2000. Part of, there were 100 and something stores that closed down then. Actually, the first store that I ran for the company closed down in 2000 as well. in Anderson, South Carolina. And there's some more shops around behind those trees around to the corner there. This shopping center, built in 1987. At one time, this store was a pretty decent store, I believe, and somewhere around the mid to late 90s, volume kind of dropped way off. They built a Walmart super center up the road, built Publix in both directions, about 2 miles either way. So yeah, this is an area of Greenville County, ever since this store closed, has really grown considerably. This is probably, and the main road is out there, that's probably the busiest road in Greenville County right now. Not this particular section of it, and not at this particular time of the day. It's about 1 p.m. right now, but if you come by here about 4 o'clock, you won't be able to get out of this parking lot and turn left. But yeah, Winn-Dixie store number 1273 from back in the day. This is the former Winn-Dixie store number 1225 in the Oakdale Shopping Center in Duncan, South Carolina. There was a CVS over there. There's a Workout Anytime now. As you see, it's subdivided, and they got a Mighty Dollar in there, which this building was vacant for a long time. Had a nightclub in there at one time, and this store was open, I believe, from about 1994 when it was constructed new until 2005, when all the stores pulled out of North and South Carolina. Apparently the Mighty Dollar is rather new, because it's got the now open banner out there, but you see you still got the Winn-Dixie sign up there on the shopping cart corral. It was a decent store. I worked here for a short while. It was always a nice store, well kept, in good shape, and this has been kind of a growing area, but this shopping center, man, it's run down. It was a shame though, because this probably could have been a good store, kind of one that was built for the future.